very methodical from LGD. It's one of these classic games where first you get first Aegis as early as possible, and you use it to take these outer tier 2 towers, get outposts, and they're gonna maybe get a Mar here as well. Carapace gonna find him and gets a 2-man impale.
That's just beautiful, isn't it? Really gorgeous from Jin-Q, and the exact move that you were talking about. They're pushing mid, they're farming enemy ancients, pushing bottom. Every lane there's a hero from LGD showing. So OG, that bit of false sense of security, thinking, okay, we've got room top, we've got a bit of space, and there's just a Nyx waiting for you.
Well, they're pinging it out now. Yuragi and BZM, who are trying to get some farm here. Faith Beyond gonna push them out of the triangle, but fortunately for OG, they've already farmed it up, so getting what scraps of gold they can get, and may look to take this team fight. They're grouping up here.
They're kind of ready for this, though. LGD in the vicinity. Jin-Q, he's not going to get caught out by anything here until the battle from Yuragi. They've got the mech from the Undying. The Chrono lands in onto the Undying and Shadow. Damn it, Jin-Q finally dies, but Yuragi and BZM, they're dropping so quickly. Tiger and Mincha trapped in the tree line. Nothing to say. Slices through one. And Tiger with a TP home, successfully escaping. But LGD, another swift, domineering performance in... I struggle to call that a team fight. That is a curb stomping from LGD.
Yeah, they just were so well split up. Like, even with 2 heroes in the Chronosphere, Faith Beyond, the real damage dealer, he's positioned on this, like, high-ground cliff in some trees, just throwing out spells, vessels, plague wards, and being an absolute pest. We'll see it all here again, but Nyx Assassin being as farmed as he is, and the front lines just using these carapaces so well. And yeah, to the top side, you see this Venom. The Venom positioning just absolutely perfect this fight.
Yeah. Yeah, right on top of that cliff top. And maxed out carapace on the Nyx. Very irritating here. As we saw, like, BZM's move there, where he tried to blink past the Nyx. He was looking for that +1 to try and skewer RP. But LGD's positioning there, their spread of heroes, there weren't even a pairing of heroes to catch together. They finally got an opportunity when SF stepped next to the Undying to get a Chrono, but then they were lacking damage, lacking heroes. OG spend quite a lot there for no return. Will grab their outpost top, but LGD, they don't relinquish control of the map. You know, every inch of the map is worth a fight for them. They can come up, de-ward, get the outpost back in their hands, and start thinking about this next Roshan, potentially up in just under a minute.
Yeah, having second Roche spawn so early, and that's so much the value of killing Roche at 13 minutes in as early as they did, is they're thinking, you know, Roche number 2 is when we can, if things go according to plan, which they have, and you keep on getting all these good fights, you keep pushing the tempo, you're going to be ready to go high ground with second Aegis. It also involves a free shard for Shadow Fiend, who's such an amazing shard carrier that it feels like PSG.LGD are going to be posing a real threat to OG's high ground defense.
Yeah, it's one of these kind of smokes, kind of needed from OG. They need that element of surprise. Wrapping around and stomping, attempting to catch Nothing to Say, but he's got his shard, so the quick roll up and the disengage from LGD. Nobody getting caught.
Yeah, Nyx did a good job. Popped a Mars smoke and then just backed off, and they knew Nyx was somewhere nearby, but weren't able to find him once again. It's one of those things where if Nyx pops these smokes and dies, like, that's almost doing your job as well. And speaking of doing his job, he's found the Faceless Void, pre-BKB. Ooh.
I'll go for Misha instead. A freebie there on the Pugna. And Nothing to Say beyond godlike. 10-0-7 on this Pangolier right now.
I was trying to carapace like a Maelstrom proc there maybe on the Faceless Void. Although it didn't look like Void just wasn't getting any Maelstrom procs.
Bad RNG paying off.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 minute for Roshan. Big fan of LGD here, coming and de-warding the enemy Ancient, still holding that Observer Ward on the high ground in the top jungle area. And these notice me pings, you know, why bringing attention to areas of the map that he wants his team to be playing into. It looks like
a big kill if they can get it.
He gets off his BKB. Chrono comes along with a static link, and Amar's walked into the Chronosphere here, so maybe with a heal to Undying to buy time for Arme to escape. Gets him a bit of distance. Requiem, is it in time? No, not quite. In comes Nothing to Say, but he's bouncing off the cliffs. They'll finish off the Razor, and Yuragi, time walking back, tries to TP, but the zombies and Jin-Q jump will secure them. 2 kills in the trade for Arme's SF.
They make sure they still get the good trade, but losing the Shadow Fiend, you know, not quite according to plan, but they are still biding their time, waiting for this next roach to respawn, and they're not done hunting quite yet. Tiger will TP out from the trees unless the bash hits him, but nothing to say. Guess is wrong.
Faith behind tracking back, nearly keeping tabs on him.
Ah, yes, classic. DD spawn by the roach pit.
Yeah. That's normal.
Yep.
SF 15 seconds away from respawning. But how are we looking on OG's ultis? Like 100 seconds for Chrono? They still have RP? They can contest this? Can they?
I mean, they have the right heroes for it. It's just whether they have the farm and the ability to kind of contest into like the Venom Vision with the wards. Will you even be able to blink in? They're using the Spirit to keep scanning it out, but there we go. Bottle up the DD rune. We'll see if he holds on to it or if he uses it for this Roche. It looks like he wants to save it for a team fight.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, look at how quickly they kill it, even without the DD.
That's some serious pain. And, you know, level 17 SF means we've got the level 15 talent, so we're going to have plenty of ability to start pressuring these objectives. Going high ground's always the tough ask, though. Got a Magnus with Blink Skewer, going for an Aether Lens even to go with it.
Yeah, shard on the SF though with Aegis and the bottle DD you mentioned. Also, I like the play there for Jin-Q. We see it quite often, just launching out a seemingly random stun into the dying Roshan, but he's making sure there's no blink steal or attempted sneaky play from OG.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Some
under
support
attack.
comes running in for a suicide to get it to deny Aegis play.
Yeah.
Dire are scanning.
Swinging bot. BZM has used his blink. It's on cooldown for 10 seconds. But Yuragi is he's under a Radiant Ward. They perfectly see the Faceless Void, the stun, the chain disables. They've caught out the Void, but is there enough damage to finish it before Time Walk? Nothing to say. 3 connections with his Rolling Thunder. Perfectly done off the back of Jin-Q's initiation.
Dire's turret has been killed.
Absolutely flawless movement around the map from LGD. It feels like this game, and they're going to press forward. Double damage SF. Could go for the high ground play now. Got a creep wave coming down mid. It's not the easiest lane to push. Sometimes teams want to prioritize these side lanes, but with Plague Wards and the ability to kind of keep OG back, feels like this should go pretty seamlessly. They've already forced out the glyph. It's that first creep wave, perhaps a bit preemptive from OG, because now LGD are going to look to pressure.
Well, 400 damage a hit. Arme popping away at this tier 3.
Yeah.
Tombstone on the high ground as well as BZM. Not sure if that was an attempt, but he gives it a crack with the initiation.
Yeah, the SF range, he's got the Dragon Lance, he's just able to position far enough back with the support of the Plague Wards. The Plague Wards make it really hard for this Magnus to get in.
No, they get rid of the DD, Blink Yule's in, but the turnaround from Jin-Q, good force staff from Tiger. Gets BZM away from danger in the meantime, but their racks have fallen. 26 minutes in, your first melee claimed up by LGD. And it really is this algorithmic play from them, you know, from laning stage through to now. It's just been toppling buildings one after the other.
Yeah. The Void did get out of the base to Midas a creep and is going to have a BKB for this next push that is almost surely coming. I feel like if you're LGD, you're just eyeing off that top lane of Rax. They don't have Pengo. Pengo's gone for the bottom rune. The OG take a fight right now. Oh, the window's closing though, and they're being jumped on.
Yeah, scouted, caught out by Jin-Q's Nyx. Goes in for a stun and then quickly runs. Trying to keep vision here over Tiger with another Yules, but the catch from BZM sending Jin-Q back towards tier 3, but they've got the poison over the Plague Wards and all the damage from the Venom. Well, Arme's outside of the Chrono. Yuragi tried just to control it, nothing to say, while Amar diving it onto the SF, draining all of its damage. Yuragi back in, but Arme's got this Mask of Madness going. The BKB himself getting bashed in the meantime, needs a bit of help from his team, but Yuragi focusing SF. They've lost too much. They can't finish him off. Arme survives, and their cores have all died. GG is called, and game 1, it's over.
Yeah, the carries on the front line just didn't have the supports. They're going to go for some last RPs here, but Pengo got the entire back line. His Link rolling Thunder in with the roll-up, he was just chain stunning these supports, taking ET out of the fight, taking Pugnet out of the fight. And as a result, like the Void didn't have any real backup. He tried to get a Chrono multiple heroes, only caught the Pengo initially. And unfortunately, for OG, it was just a kind of
And in fact, what's 740 GPM? Not a spectacular number, but for 22 minutes into the game, it's pretty freaking good.
So be careful. OG have smoked his 5. This is their big team fight opportunity.
Well, they come in contact with the DP and blow up face beyond, but look at that trample. The damage of the target clears him up. Oracle's dead. As Uragi with his BKB turns, but the Grave onto Q allows him to potentially TP home here.
BKB TP, and he's out of there. Roshan is alive. I don't know if OG have the ability to take this one. The SF damage is decent, but he hasn't got the Mask of Madness, and I think more importantly, LGD are ready to take a fight. Even without Death Prophet, they're going to have a Rolling Thunder in the pit, so OG have to back off, but they seem to want to stick around. They still have Ravage, well, they will have Ravage up in 8 seconds time, so a potential Roche fight could look good for OG.
I've still got that double observer board there. Plenty of vision. They're playing towards the pit. We've got lanes to maintain though. Uragi up top. Some BZM down bot.
LGD may just walk into the pit here. They see so many OG heroes on the map, it's very safe to do so. If they can hold on to Exorcism, it means they'll have the Aegis and probably 2 Exorcisms to use during the Aegis timer.
Whose shard is this? Just give it to DP?
We've already got Kingo, it looks like. Death Prophet and Lex. I don't think Death Prophet.
Dazzle's pretty good. Let's see. Shard on the ground. Faith Beyond
Prophet, yeah.
belongs to him, so that fear from the Spirit Siphon.
Oh, yeah. Big down.
Yeah. Gleipnir nets him up. Onslaught to cancel the TP. Kill the Tiny. At least a bit of room bottom for OG, though, knowing that LGD have amassed everybody up top. And get a deep ward down, keep farming through that bottom jungle, and a little bit of pressure on the tier 2.
I feel like OG, they found this Philosopher's Stone and they're keeping on target. I'd almost like to see it pass over to the Tiny. I think this Blink Dagger is going to be a key ingredient for their high ground defense. It does feel like that's where the direction this game is headed with how big of a lead LGD has got. And Tiny, 800 gold. He's pretty far from Blink Dagger, but something like a Philosopher's Stone could make a difference.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. These 2 very poor supports. Okay, if the Oracle buys a Ghost Scepter, he can buy space for Ame. Yeah, 1v2, turning and fighting. And a Rainbow TP situation from LGD, all coming down here onto the outpost to help out their Prophet. Tiger so close to death, but he'll TP successfully back to Fountain. While BZM tucks into the trees. And it looks like Amar went in behind to try and cut some waves as well.
Sending the Wraith Pack TP out. I guess he's just doing some cheeky little plays. Didn't really achieve a whole lot. Chipped away at the creep wave, but didn't actually bring it down.
They're even scanning and looking for him. Where's this sneaky fella? Not to be found. But yeah, the role swap or the hero swap between Misha and Tiger doesn't seem to have worked out this game. And it also feels like Oracle hasn't had that much impact in this match without a real hero to put the false promise on. BZM gonna TP out of bottom. Arme stuck around, and the 5 members of LGD are stampeding in towards that tier 2 bot area. They've already claimed the tower, so now it's time to claim some kills. Why walking high ground, gets Abatos back into Uragi. Good pick off on the Dazzle, but what can they make off the back of it? Amar and Uragi coming down the staircase. Some striking forward to try and scout and give vision. Q. He meets Misha, BKBs and pulverizes, and now they've got the DPL with the Pango roll. Back in towards the Tiny. Look to blow up Misha here and catch on to Tiger. Both supports the targets here for the Gleipnir of Arme as they will swiftly move in to kill off the Squitchies. Nothing to say. He's even in the back lines aiming for BZM.
Zoning out the entire backlines. Didn't have any follow-up damage, so wasn't really close to getting any kills there, but doing a good job of landing his spells to guarantee those 2 quick and easy support kills. But with Exorcism wearing off, there's no real high ground play here to be made for LGD. They're going to have to back off, continue farming, continue building upon this lead. Like, even though OG have this kind of scary, stronger late game, if you're far enough ahead, it doesn't really matter how good a late game draft your opponents have if you've got like a 30-40k gold lead.
Yeah. I mean, it must be devastating for the morale of OG here. I mean, game 1 was 31 to 9, 35 to 9. It was 35 to 9, massive dominating performance, and now 21 to 4. No difference in game 2. LGD coming up high ground bottom lane. Tier 3 taking a pummeling from Arme, and this defensive line is just a straight wall of heroes behind the Natus Prophet, ready for any move of OG.
knowing there's no Blink Dagger on Tiny makes pushing so much easier for them. They're doing this without the Exorcism and just using the Nature's Prophet with Aegis just to chip away at these buildings. We get the D ward here.
And last-ditch Glyph keeps the tier 3 alive on 20 health. And Yuragi fake pumping the Requiem. Gotta be careful now, he's sprouted up though. He needs to get his BKB off. They've got 4 fronts behind him to buy. No, they don't. It's on cooldown. They don't have the save available for Yuragi, so he's gonna die. Arme just comes in, kills off 2. Dive behind tier 3 is a little bit there, but fall back and focus objectives is the name of the game for LGD.
SF was almost playing as if he did have the false fronts behind him, but it was still, 10 seconds away, and LGD get the perfect job utilizing this Primal Beast initiation so well. The BKB pulverized, just when there's no false promise, there's just no good answer to it, and it's not just one lane of Rax, they're looking for a second. Still 30 seconds left on this Aegis.
Yeah, and 30 seconds left before Shadow Fiend respawns. Doesn't want to buy back.
Yep.
And LGD...
They're going to have Exo too. 10 seconds, and like, how do you fight into them?
That's a very good question. I don't think I've got the answer for you.
If Faithbeyond just pops it here, or if they decide to back off and look for another good fight, it looks like backing off is going to be the call. Farm some Ancients, get those next couple of items. You just got so much out of that bottom lane, plus the kills you got from the team fight. That a lot of big items coming out for LGD.
And another cycle here for LGD, doing very well, getting a pretty early first Roshan into second. Waiting for another one. Grabbing up tier 3 items on their journey through the top jungle. OG gonna have to relinquish control of the entirety of the map outside of their base.
It's got solo vision, only one deep aggressive ward, which isn't really leading to any kind of plays here. I mean, with a completed Satanic and 200 gold is going to be a massive problem for them. And I think a big part of the Nature's Prophet pick here is the matchup against SF is pretty good. You actually kind of, you've got that range carry that can always be attacking in SF. You're not really being kited, and LGD, they want to charge in here.
Man, nothing to say. Breaks up the high ground, spots out Misha. Does get a toss back, and a blink grab from Amar, not connecting on anything. Faith Piana's aggressively blinked in on towards Tiger, getting the fear of the Oracle. Pango trying to slow down Yuragi's retreat. Needs the BKB Requiem to fear them up, but he's been caught out, stunned up by the Rolling Thunder, and finished off. GG call. A tremendous victory, 2-0 in fact for LGD over OG. I thought this series would be a close one.
26-4, 2 sub 30-minute games. We're getting all these 50-minute games on this patch. I feel like, yesterday we had 10 games or whatever that went like 15 hours, and OG and LGD just having 2 quick ones. This was a complete and utter stomp. I think LGD, I mean, a lot of it goes back to the draft where OG thought they could get away with these greedier drafts, and LGD almost drafted to punish it. They drafted to really, beat the timings of OG, picking up these, tempo carries with the Nature's Prophet, having a Death Prophet in the off lane, the Nothing to Say Pengo back-to-back games, just doing a great job of, punishing OG and finding the backlines. And yeah, OG just had no answer here.